And what sort of scale do you think people really need to make the most efficient use of build to rent?
That's an interesting one because it's not infinitely scalable. My experience running properties in the US leads me to believe that below 100 you really struggle. Between 2 and 500 is probably the sweet spot. Schemes of over 600-700, you start to lose a little bit of the efficiencies that you thought you might be getting because you start to have stabs that require shifts. You start to, have problems with, the concierge not necessarily being able to remember things, remember people's names. So there's definitely a limit.
One of the things that you've mentioned to me is your pod approach to build to rent building management. What exactly do you mean by that?
So here at Wembley Park, Tipi is currently developing approximately 3,500 units. And what that means is that it's not a 3,500 unit scheme. It's 7 500 unit pods, if I've done my maths right. And each pod will have its own staff, its own on-site team, and each pod will have its own special features and slightly different design, unit layouts, amenities, and so forth. So you have to take a bit of a diversified approach to developing large sites.
Do you think developers are starting to design more specifically for build to rent now rather than just build for sale?
I do. I definitely see that not just us at Wembley Park, but other developers in the space they're starting with the small things, slightly wider corridors, amenity spaces on the ground floor, a more well-designed and thought-through customer journey through the building and through the leasing process.
If you were going to sum up some of the key messages to a developer newly going into the build to rent market, what would you be saying to them?
Start with the customer, not with the planning permission. I think we get confused too easily on who the client is in this business, and we've been focused, I think, for a long time on regulations, compliance, and the planning system as being the client as opposed to the actual occupant who is our customer.